But the
hearts
thing about
and
Eric, which is great,
smiles.
is at least he's like, well, I'm upset. And he explains it and he talks because in life, too many people hold it in. Eric puts it out there.
He does.
And then when people say, Eric, we love you, stay, then it like brings him back and it builds him back up. And then he re-engages in the show and everything's good again.
I know. He just needs a little more love than the rest of us.
Well, Chris has been friends with him for a long time. Did you notice that right off the bat, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
Such a
But
sensitive little guy.
it could be the rock star aspect of it, where he was used to being pampered all the time.
You know, that's probably
and
it.
then when you don't get pampered, it's like, whoa, 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 wait a second. It's a growing moment. It's when we all grow. And you grow in tough times.
I bet it would be, he wouldn't
It's a
survive.
Friday.
He wouldn't survive a relationship with me because I would be so direct about things.
Uh-oh.
He would be crying all the time.
Uh-oh.
I'm glad he has a girlfriend.
Uh-oh. Oh, my God. Here we go.
I love Eric. He is so sweet.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. You're listening to The Edge on a Friday morning. Yes, we've hit Friday. I'm sorry. This week seemed like it was forever for me. Don't know how it was for you, but we're glad you're listening this morning. 100.7 FM, The Viper. If you want to give us a call, you can. The phone number 636-695-2915. Once again, 636-695-2915. You can also check us out on Facebook, 100.7. Chris, are we up and running?
Yes, we are.
100.7 The Viper. And everything's good this morning, Chris? We're all technically advanced and up to date, up to speed?
So far, so good.
All right.
Don't jinx it.
I don't believe in jinxes, by the way.
Well, you better.
No. I only believe in people who believe in jinxes.
Oh, okay.
It's 100.7 FM, the Viper on Facebook, of course. As always, you know the drill. We're here from Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. If you have a question, complaint, comment you want to make, feel free to do it on Facebook as well. We try to get to those as well. The fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio you'll find anywhere. Eric Johnson will be here at about 8:20. That's his late rocker roll-in time. Chris Knight's here, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Hey, it's the weekend. Hope you guys have plans. If you guys got things going on this weekend, let us know. You can let us know on the Facebook line as well. Coming up, and looking forward to it. We'll see what's going on. Tonight we'll get a chance to come up. But I don't know. Tabitha, do you have plans this weekend?
I do. I am leaving. I was down there yesterday. I'm leaving right after the show. I'm going out to my family's cabin out in southern Missouri.
What are you doing there tonight?
Well, we are mostly cleaning, so it's not going to be a whole lot of fun. Cleaning and barbecuing.
Cleaning and barbecuing?
Well, it's been closed up for a year and a half, so we've got a lot of work to do.
Well, tonight, if you're looking for something to do still, the MMA fights, which have been very, very popular, return to St. Charles this weekend. Because of COVID, the last time, it's been a while since the fights, the Shamrock fights. Jesse Finney, who also puts on Guns N' Hoses. Jesse's a good friend. He'll be putting those fights back on tonight over at the casino. Looking forward to that. Jesse's going to join us at 9 o'clock to get us updated on everything. It's ironic because the last time before COVID, 15, 16 months ago, right, like 2 nights before everything got shut down, Kim and I ran into Jesse and his wife at the Blues game and had a blast.
Oh, yeah?
Absolute blast.
Does he live here in St. Louis?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
St. Louis guy?
Little did we know that would be the last night most of us would be out.
Right.
I mean, we're back pretty much normal, but still not 100% normal.
Right.
You're playing with your hair again while you talk to me.
No.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
It's flat. I was out in the rain, and I'm just trying to fluff it up a little bit.
Curl it?
I'm trying to fluff it up a little bit.
I started noticing that recently. We're talking to you, and you're like curling your hair.
Yeah, it's been really, this weather is just
Would that
killing
work
it.
for me if I did it too?
You have a perfect hair. You don't need to do anything.
I have perfect hair, really?
This mess I have is not perfect.
That's funny. Appreciate it. Hey, everybody. Tabitha, your hair does not look like mess. Stop it.
Oh, it is.
Stop it. Anyway, lots to talk about again today, as always, as we do. Cardinals, not something to talk about. I'm very, very, very frustrated. We're a baseball city. We know that. They've lost 17 of 23 games. Even you, Tabitha, not being a sports fan, can say that's not good.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good.
It's been a bad year of
at
sports.
least there's a Yachty tumbler people can get if they go to the Cardinals game tonight, if it's not raining.
Probably a lot of open seats.
Yeah, you know what? Since they've been open, they were open for full capacity for a few games, but they weren't even close to it, which is interesting. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about what's going on there. We've got, lawmakers continue to debate if the abortion facilities and some contraceptives like Plan B should be covered under the subsidized health care in Missouri. It was a long day of hearing for senators as they were back in Jefferson City yesterday for a special session. We'll see where all of that goes. We can get into that as well. It's very, very serious for the state. The FRA is how they fund, as Scott Fawn from the Missouri Times told us, our over $1 billion state Medicaid budget. So we got to get that taken care of one way or the other. We're going to get into Derek Chauvin. His sentencing's today. Could be up to 40 years in prison. I know that angers you from your past.
I don't
unless you've
expect
changed.
that to happen, but you never know. I don't expect it to happen, but you never know.
Also, we're going to talk about this Delta variant. And by the way,
do we have to?
Oh yeah, because now because here come the headlines: over 900 new cases in the state of Missouri. Now, at my station, I am putting out some information to our bosses and producers on what is real and what isn't real. Dr. Naputi's going to be able to join us on Tuesday. He's been extremely busy, a lot of things going on in his life, but he's going to come on Tuesday to explain what he's in, because he talks to people across seas and in England. He's on these calls, and we're getting a lot of research that's coming out of England. They were a little bit ahead of us when it came to where the virus was and what's happening and those sorts of things. We'll break that down today as well.
Well, I have an important question when we do, by the way.
Really?
I do.
I'm looking forward to that. It's just frustrating. I always tell people, if something's serious, fine, but just be careful. Don't get caught up in the hype of everything that's going on, because we've already seen with the Dr. Fauci emails, he was telling us one thing publicly and saying another thing in emails privately, which I don't know how anybody could ever trust the man or trust public health officials. And it's very difficult because you want to trust our public health officials. I'm not telling you not to. It's just we know that locally, from a state level, we take on what they tell us nationally. That's how it's done. And those are the messages that are put out in the media. And then we saw that Fauci, in at least 2 cases, was giving a different message publicly than he was privately. And that's frustrating.
And it's not surprising. I mean, everything that we've all been talking about, we know is true because we've backed it up with facts. And those are facts he can't ignore. He's just not publicly allowed to speak the truth.
Which is frustrating. We've also got a couple more shootings this morning. A shooting in Kirkwood.
That's unusual.
Meacham Park. One person shot, not aware of the victim's condition at this point in time or why the gunfire started. But, there's shootings that happen everywhere. We just don't talk about the craziness going on in the city and the increased violence in St. Louis County. Yes, it can happen over in Kirkwood as well, and it did. A SLU security guard this morning shoots and kills a man.
I did see that.
Locust.
On Locust, yes.
He said the suspect had 2 guns. Still working on details on that to see what exactly was going on down there. And I've always said follow Jane Duker. Once again, Jane Duker on Twitter, because it leads you to so many stories within St. Louis City and St. Louis County. And I'm serious. You need to follow her, because I was following Jane Duker on Twitter. She's legal representation for St. Louis City Police, St. Louis County Police. She's a lobbyist. She's a lawyer, a staunch Democrat who can't stand what she sees happening from a socialist
Yeah, because she's not one of the progressives. Thank
in
God.
her Democratic Party. She feels like it's been hijacked. But long story short, she's really covering what's happening downtown with the Board of Aldermen and Tashara Jones when it comes to all the money and the budget. There is a huge, and I think Fox 2, we're going to get down there today. There's a huge fight going on. The Board of Aldermen, by the way, for the most part, do not agree with the budget from Tashara Jones or what she's trying to do when it comes to federal money coming in.
Does it matter?
And they are, the Board of Aldermen are the ones who vote. They have the power. That's why they said, they, being the Post-Dispatch, when Lewis Reed Law said he still may have the last laugh, because Lewis Reed he is the head president of the Board of Aldermen to approve funding. Now, you want to get along, but they are going at it. They don't approve of what she's trying to do. This is major stuff for the region. And it also gets into the effect of what I read yesterday, where President Biden gave money to cities to use to put more boots on the ground for police, and Tashara has decided not to. And I told you, I think she's very intelligent. I like her as a person. I just don't understand how she can do this right now when this extra money is sent to put more police on the ground. But she says we're going to use it instead for reimagining.
Well, we know
policing.
why. We know why.
What do you mean?
We know why. I mean, she's all part of the defund the police movement. Of course, she doesn't want to give the money to police. If it were up to her, we'd probably have no police.
Well, it's another topic we can get into today. And of course, there's times where we take it ourselves, and there's times where we let you, the listeners and the viewers, let us know what's on your mind too. We're open. We're an organic show, and that's what we do. The other big story today that we kind of previewed yesterday, Kamala Harris going to the border. But what exactly is that going to mean? 93 days after being tapped to lead this by President Biden, the wayward, is it fair to call her the wayward child?
I can think of some other things, but you can call her that if you want.
Not the prodigal son, but the prodigal daughter finally listens to her boss and heads to the border. Kamala Harris going to the border. And is it only because Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, had his visit already set to go meet with Governor Abbott in Texas at the border?
She's not even, of course, she's not even going to the right area. She's not going to the area where...
I don't even know what area she's going to.
You know, she's not going to the place where the people are crossing over into people's ranches, where the majority of the illegals cross. She's like going to some area where they have very little activity.
What?
Yes. Yes. So she's still taking the easy way out. She's going to go down there. I don't see anything. Everything looks fine here.
No, she's not. Everybody knows that. I mean, you got
Does that matter?
You got Republicans and Democrats on the border going, somebody get your ass down here. We've got issues. And then, of course, we talked with the DEA the other day, too, talking about the major increase in fentanyl seizures. And that's what they're able to get, not everything that's actually coming across the border right now as well. What was pissing you off this morning when you walked in? You did not seem like you were happy.
Two things. There's two important things. One was before I came in, and the other one is something I learned once I got here. And the first thing, I want to give a PSA to a place called TJ Weiss Contracting.
TJ Weiss Contracting.
Don't pull out in front of someone and go slow. You just don't do that. TJ Weiss Contracting
Chris,
is personally responsible for me being 10 minutes later than I normally would be.
Okay. That was not fair, Tabitha.
Oh, it's fair. You don't pull out in front of someone in the rain and then drive 5 miles an hour. I think that's very fair. And the second one is...
So that's what pissed you off this morning?
Yes. And the second thing is catfish is disgusting. I realize today's National Catfish Day, but catfish is gross.
I agree with you. There's a lot of people who like fried catfish.
I love fish, but not catfish. It's slimy. And it's dirty, and I can't eat it.
Yeah.
I like fishing for it.
It's a bottom of the food chain fish, that's for sure.
I mean, why not some cod? Why can't it be National Cod Day?
Anything positive?
Some halibut.
Anything making you happy today, Tabitha?
It's Friday. It's Friday.
Okay.
I love Fridays, don't you?
From the Facebook line, and I didn't know this because I've been so damn busy. Vice President Kamala Harris going to the border in El Paso, about 800 miles away from the real problem area.
Exactly.
That's unfortunate. I mean, it's a big news. And, you know, it's also interesting. Guess what day she's going on? The Friday News Dump Day. Friday, and we've talked about this before for people who don't know.
But most people don't know that. You educate people on that, but most people don't understand the significance of what day news stories come out.
Well, there's a lot of big ones or stories that you want to disappear or go under the radar, or you put them out on Friday. And that's ironic because our newsrooms and many newsrooms across the country, Fridays are when people seem to take off or whatever. And we always seem to be a little bit shorter staffed, but Fridays are when the bigger stories. You see it all the time. Law stories, verdicts, decisions from court. They come out, they happen on Friday. From the Facebook line, as we're trying to get that, she's going, that's all that matters. Really?
Well, actually, that's really not all that matters. What? So she's going to go make a public appearance? I'll go too. Does that matter? No, it doesn't matter.
I don't know. I mean,
what matters is what she says afterwards. And I think we can all guess what that's going to be.
That's a great point. I couldn't agree with you anymore, Tabitha. It matters what she says.
Exactly.
You're right. Her going.
I'm not going to judge it yet. I'm going to wait and see what the outcome is and what she has to say about it, regardless of which portion of the border she's visiting.
It's still early in the presidency, clearly, taking over in January. But you compare the presidency with Trump and what Mike Pence was doing as a vice president to what we've seen so far. She hasn't done anything, has she?
No, we've gone from
and
America
I'm just calling
first.
it out. I mean, and
Right.
let me know if something has happened. And it's not her job to overshadow the president. It's her job to do what the president tells her to
she's
do.
hopefully more cognitive than
But
he
she's-
is, so she should be doing more.
But she's 90 days late on what her boss told her, and it's become a huge national story.
And she probably doesn't really know what she's doing. I mean, just think she was a prosecutor. I mean, it's not like she had any vice president training. She's not really that much of a political
From the
person.
Facebook line, I bet she laughs at something.
I bet she does too. I bet whatever she says afterwards will be nothing but cackling.
No, there's nothing she can cackle. You can't go to the border. when
Kamala
it's not
cackles
a
at
disaster.
everything.
It's not a crisis. It's a disaster. And none of us have been to the border. We can see videos and pictures in our Facebook line. The guy who's been there, who worked it for 12 years, who intercepted people coming across, who went head to head with the cartel, who had $1 million hit on his head from the cartel, Colonel Joe Adams says it's a disaster. It's terrible. It's horrible what's happening. He's talked about what's going to happen in this country because of what's happening now and all the people being allowed to cross the border. This isn't what we're saying. This is what Colonel Joe Adams has said and told us, showing us pictures of corpse being down there. He says it does matter what our leaders say and then do.
Of course it
so
does.
I agree with you,
And
Tabitha. I believe
she's
she
in a tough
needs to
spot.
come out strong today.
She does.
But here's the problem she has.
She's not going to go against her own
She's
people.
getting beat up of the AOC people of the world because she went to Guatemala and said, do not come here. You won't get in. She said it twice. Then the
But then they
Republicans.
do get in.
Well,
I mean, come on.
then the Republicans were attacking her because she wasn't listening to Biden. She was a no-show for 92 days, 93 days. And who gets away with telling their boss to F off and basically give him the middle finger and make him look stupid for 3 months, which is what she's done, because she knows
She doesn't want to go.
the only way you can handle the border right now is how she's handled it. You run and hide from it,
Right.
or you do what Trump did and you go 100% the opposite direction and say, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to build a wall.
And she's not going to do that.
And she's not going to do that because it's against what her party stands for. And she hates Trump and she thinks Trump is too much of a jerk. And many people did too, because he said he's inhumane. So
what do you think she's going to do?
She's caught between, I don't think she's going to say anything.
I don't think she's going to
I
say
think she's
much.
just going to show up and hey, I came.
agree. Because you know what? Like you said, she's
Which is why I would
either
love to
side is not
know-
going to be good.
Which is why I would love to know, if you just go, what good is that going to do? Because the whole idea was if you go, you're going to
Because
say something
she'll now be able to
strong.
say she's gone. Oh, I've been there. I saw it. It was fine. We're taking care of business. Because, they're not transparent at all. Think about that. There's no transparency in this administration.
Well, what's interesting is even Democrats, Democratic leaders who are on the border, I've heard multiple give former Trump, praise for what was happening at the border. They said they didn't agree with all of his policies, but they gave him a lot of credit for border security.
92%. Illegal border crossings went down 92%
That's
under
crazy.
his presidency.
That is crazy.
And now they're back up to full force. When Trump took over the office, there was 250,000 people crossing the southern border illegally every single month. 250,000 people. Over 50,000 unaccompanied minors every single month. That's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
Well, we're rocking and rolling. We're getting it started on a Friday. Eric Johnson's getting revved up. He's getting those pipes ready. He just walked in.
He's already crying.
His pipes, his arm pipes, and his throat pipes. Chris Knight's getting the computer system ready. Tabitha's already lodged the first. She's thrown the first.
I'm ready today,
insult
Eric. I drank
the room at Eric.
I had extra amp coffee today.
She just said you're already crying.
About what?
About being sensitive when people say bad things about you.
Oh, she's going there. Okay.
I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Give us a call if you want to, 636-695-2915. You can also check it on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper. We'd love to hear from you as well. We'll be back right after this. Of course, share the show. 8:22 is the time on this Friday, June 25th.
The Edge Morning Show is coming right back. Hi, Conrad Bellman at Bellman's Car Connection in St. Peter's. Right now, we're paying top dollar for your pre-owned vehicle. At Bellman Car Connection, we'll take anything on trade, van, Jeep, truck. Spring into a quality pre-owned car, truck, Jeep, SUV, or van today. The inventory is always fresh, so hurry in today before someone else buys the one you want. Bellman's Car Connection in St. Peter's at Highway 70 and 370, where you will never pay the max. Online at carnection.com.
What's more American than celebrating the 4th of July? Getting your fireworks from a veteran. Dogpack Fireworks in New London's better known and has everything you need to have a blast this 4th of July. For 29 years, owner Michael Watts and his family have been providing top-notch products at mind-blowing prices. From firecrackers to 500-gram cakes. Whether you want a little or a lot, Dogpack Fireworks has it all. And Monday through Sunday, 8 a.m. until 11 p.m. until July 10th. Dogpack Fireworks. Next to Woodsy Acres and Salt River Trading Post in New London. Look for the daily specials on Facebook at Dog Patch Fireworks.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/find. That's ZipRecruiter.com/find.
Did you know 85.6 million Americans live with heart disease? It's important to know your personal risk. Barnes Jewish St. Peter's and Progress West hospitals offer a free online heart health assessment you can take from home. Visit bjcstcharlescounty.org/hearthelp and get advice on what you can do to keep your heart healthy. You'll also receive a customized report to discuss with your doctor. Visit bjcstcharlescounty.org/hearthelp.
Keep your resolution to quit cigarettes this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. I Quit Vapor carries the salt nicotine systems, their latest juice flavors, and all of their pod systems. Let their staff explain why the salt nicotine system is so effective in helping you to quit cigarettes for good. It has a much smoother delivery and allows you to adjust the amount of nicotine intake. I Quit Vapor is still your one-stop shop for everything vapor. Keep your quit cigarette resolution this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. Puff bars and disposables now available.
Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peter's carries a full line of automotive parts and paints. They're a PPG Platinum distributor of automotive paint and industrial coatings and auto body shop supplies. For over 40 years, your hometown auto parts store is Midnight Auto. Stop in at Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peter's, just off Mexico Road, 447-4000, 447-4000, on the web at mid-niteautosupply.com.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
All the cash back you earn on your credit
Hey, welcome back to the show this morning. You're listening to The Edge on a Friday morning. It's the 25th of June. Hope you got some plans for the weekend. Weather's not going to be the best in the world, but we've come off some damn good weather. Wherever you may be listening around the country or the world, hope you have a great weekend. Eric Johnson's now in. Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, and Big Faust of Fox 2. Minus Chris, the rest of us look like Antifa squad this morning.
I'm ready.
We're all in black. Seriously, Eric and I both have black hats on. Eric's is forward, mine's turned around behind. Tabitha's in black as always.
Damn, I didn't even notice that.
Seriously.
It matches her soul.
I usually wear blue. I usually wear blue.
No, you don't.
I've worn blue every single day
you
this
wear
week.
Black, yeah, but it's so dark it looks black.
Well, it still doesn't count because it's
That's why we call
not
you
black. It's blue.
Tabit to bat.
I wear that so I'll meld
like a
into
bat
the
in the corner.
background behind me.
Meld into the background.
She is kind of a badass, though. I will say I pulled up today and heard
she's a talking.
Her little red truck that she drives
It's
around.
a Jeep. It's called a Jeep.
Whatever. It's got no windows in it. Have you noticed that?
That's what we talked about this on Monday.
It's like a picnic pavilion on wheels.
Yes. You drive up
in a rainstorm.
It actually serves very well for that, by the way.
I don't know if anybody's ever had a Jeep. Tabitha drives a Jeep, and we've talked about it before, but
well, it's summer. I keep the windows out.
How old is that Jeep?
It's a few years old for sure. It's
like MASH old.
You know what? No, it's not MASH old. It is a real Jeep. It is because at some point they came out with what now is an SUV that people call a Jeep. Those aren't real Jeeps. My Jeep is a real Jeep.
I don't know if it's stupid or badass.
It sat out in the rain all night long, and guess what? It's perfectly fine. No windows.
That's kind of Tabitha Hassell, though. She's right in.
It's made for that.
She's right between stupid and badass. She's right there in the middle.
There's nothing stupid about it.
I'm serious.
That might be the best description ever.
There is
like,
no
you got a
better
Jeep, you got no
vehicle
windows
than a
on
Jeep.
it.
Between stupid and badass.
It's right there.
There's a lot of room in between those two.
It used to be the militant midget.
Eric,
now it's throwing the towel tab.
You would love driving a Jeep. You would love it. It's like open air. You keep the windows out.
I don't know. The BMW doesn't suck.
It's not open air. I mean, it's like I'm so free in my Jeep to just drive around with a little top down. And you know what? Believe it or not, it's made for this weather. It was outside all night last night.
What the hell are you talking about, Tabitha?
It's not wet.
It's made for this inclement
My seats
weather.
weren't wet.
It's like a motorcycle.
You're free. That's how she showers.
Okay. All right.
It is the true American Patriot
Showers
vehicle.
in the rain in her Jeep.
It's the true American Patriot vehicle. There you go.
You can take all the windows out and you don't get wet.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay. Fantastic.
Hey, guys, welcome back.
Never mind. Go ahead. Back to the variant.
Eric, yeah, we'll get. Oh, yeah, you came in talking the variant this morning. I'm pissed off about the variant. That's what's got me fired up. Tabitha openly called out a company this morning on air.
I heard that. That is
I was
so
like, Tabitha,
wrong.
what are you doing? That's not even right.
So wrong.
Don't pull out in front of someone and go slow. I mean, that should be the number one driving rule next to using blinkers. If you can't turn your...
But wait a minute. If they pulled out in front of you, but was it their turn? They didn't do
No,
anything
it was not their turn. I was driving down the road, and they just whipped out in front of me.
What are you, like a half mile down the road? And felt it was your way?
I mean, like maybe 2 car lengths, and I would have been fine if they would have picked up the speed, but they pulled out in front of me, and then they drove really slow.
You know what? I'll give her something.
That has to be one of my biggest pet peeves.
If somebody races to get in front of you,
they do,
and then drives slow.
Exactly.
I'll give her that.
Yeah. No,
it's so annoying.
That is kind of BS.
And there was no one behind me.
But I wouldn't call him out publicly on radio.
There was no one.
No, that's the thing. Is I
me.
agree with her. I go. There is definitely something with road rage.
And you shouldn't put your name on your car and drive like an idiot. How about that? If your name's on your car, don't drive stupid.
Okay.
Who has their name on their car?
Well, this person did.
No, she means the company name.
Yeah, they have their company name on the car.
1-800-CALL us if we suck driving kind of a thing. That's what semis have. And no, but you called them out.
And as they should be, because you know what? Don't drive like an idiot. I hate people that pull out in front of me.
Yeah, but you're always talking about
slow.
how people drive too fast here in this area.
Well, at least drive the speed limits.
What's your Jeep hit? 50 miles per hour?
Well, I was on a side road. It wasn't on the highway. I was
Downhill
going like
with a tailwind,
50.
maybe.
Hey, now.
You ever take that thing through a car wash?
Well, you can't drive
Without
it through
the
a car
windows.
wash. You have to wash it yourself.
I saw a TikTok video recently of a woman going through a car wash. It was actually pretty funny.
Without the windows?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's how Tabitha showers. Like we said earlier.
Her little black
Not a bad
soul
idea.
And her little black clothes. All right. This is not slam on Tabitha Day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
If you want to give us a call, 636-695-2915. By the way, coming up at 9 o'clock, Jesse Finney is going to be giving us a call. Jesse Finney with Shamrock FC Fighting Championships. They're back in St. Charles at the casino tonight. The fights, very popular. They make their comeback because of COVID. So Jesse will be giving us a call. He's also in charge of Guns and Hoses. He puts on Guns and Hoses.
Has that been announced? Are they doing that this year?
No, we'll get we're going to get an update from Jesse on those two situations. But he's had a ton of success. Former fighter, great all-around guy. So
Nice.
Jesse will be giving us a call. That'll be around 9 o'clock. So we'll get into that. I'll tell you what, guys, one thing that really, really is frustrating me from a broadcasting standpoint and community standpoint is what we're starting to hear. Who's tired of hearing of Delta variant already, or doesn't understand it?
I don't understand it. I don't
in-
understand it, but it is there, and it's something's
You
happening.
walked into the studio,
Right.
and you said something. What's got you irked about it? And I'm going to tell you, I did about an hour and a half study yesterday on Delta variant. I talked with Dr. Naputi. By the way, he's going to join us Tuesday to talk more about this, but it's not that difficult to understand. It really is. I'm going to break it down in a second. What's got you? What's got you going today?
The numbers. See, the whole thing about COVID that has always kind of freaked me out is that I don't believe the media one bit. about what they said about COVID. I don't believe anything. I mean, I don't even know who to believe. Garza, I didn't believe him. I wanted to believe him. And then you got other people that say something about COVID, and they say exactly the opposite. The only thing you can believe is as COVID cases. I mean, that's a number. It's starting to pop back up. My question to Dr. Naputi, I'll jump Tabitha's, is if you've had COVID-19, are you still safe? That's the question that I have. Does that is the COVID Delta variant, does the vaccine really work against it? How do you protect us against it? The number is popping up in the state of Missouri. Apparently, we're the number one state in the country right now.
And I have such an important question for all of you.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to know exactly how many variants of flu there are, and I want to know which variants of flu you've had, and I want to know how many people today have the flu in the United States.
And
how many people in Missouri today have the flu?
That's why you have to get it
every single year. And if you don't know those
year.
answers, then I don't care about COVID.
And here, and this is all what makes sense. From the Facebook line, too, they're calling everything Delta now. They are. These are facts now.
Okay.
The next control measure.
The Delta variant is the same UK variant. It's the same variant from India. It's just been rebranded. It's the exact same variant. Mm-hmm. And you can go to the English Journal of Medicine. They have the reports. Now, in the UK, right now, 2/3 of all, quote, COVID cases are Delta. And guess why? Because the virus is doing what all viruses do.
Exactly.
They shift.
It mutates, and what it becomes is this. It becomes more transmissible, but as Dr. Naputi has told us a million times, listen up, here it is, recorded if you need to. The Delta variant, guess what? It becomes more transmissible, but it becomes less lethal because it doesn't want to kill its host.
Right.
It wants to stay in the host. Now, that may sound scary, but it becomes less lethal for anybody, even those with comorbidities. Mm-hmm. The hospitals are not overrun with COVID cases. I'm sorry.
No, they're not.
We're not getting deaths from the variant, and that's because it has run its course like most viruses do, almost all viruses. That's why. So why would there be national media pushing the agenda? I think Tabitha has an argument about control, but you will not hear a variant story unless you hear another thing attached to it. Guess what's attached to this story?
What?
Vaccine. You got to get vaccinated. You got to get vaccinated. And whether we have gotten vaccinated or not, guess what? People who've been fully vaccinated, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
They're getting COVID.
And I'm not afraid of it.
Welcome.
I'm not afraid of it
You shouldn't,
anymore.
because you know what? You have a tube of ivermectin at home.
I've got a tube of ivermectin, and I've had COVID at least twice that I know of.
Exactly.
And seriously, I'm not playing around either.
You can get COVID you can get the variant, you can get COVID if you've had it already. If you've been vaccinated. We've talked about this over and over. Ask the St. Louis Blues, who had not one, not two, but 3 cases of guys fully vaccinated getting COVID and not being able to play in their first round series. It's happening, and it does happen, but it's not happening at an alarming rate.
And it's the messaging that's behind it, because you know what? The first thing I read when I woke up this morning, I always do a little news recap.
Yeah.
I read, it's unvaccinated people this time. The unvaccinated, they're the ones getting the Delta variant. They're the ones spreading it. I'm like, gee, is that the little light go off in somebody's head? Because guess what? And I'm not comparing COVID to the flu, but guess what happens with the flu? If you don't get the flu shot, you could obviously get the flu, but that doesn't mean you need to go and get a flu shot.
Yeah, the vaccine's not fully attacking the virus. What it's attacking is the spiked protein and knocking that out so that the blood can move more fully, but it's not taking the virus out of the body. If you read the studies in the journals and
but
take
eventually
time to
something
do it,
has to kill that virus.
Over time, yes, natural. It's
your immune system kills the virus.
Almost like
to me, it's easy, Eric.
Well, that's what your body is
to
designed to do.
It is, but it's almost like last year we went through COVID 101. Now we're going to the sophomore classes of COVID-19, and the pertinent questions are this: the Delta variant, like Vic just said, it shifts, it mutates, it does its thing. Are people with natural,
which is not as serious,
right? But are people with natural immunity? I want the media to say, if you have natural immunity, guys, You're off the table.
The media
Goodbye.
doesn't understand what natural immunity is because
I know.
because the media will only because it's like our life
But-
today. Nobody wants to get involved in anything because of lawsuits. Everybody wants to take the easy, safe approach. The easy, safe approach in media is, oh, well, we got somebody that relies on. We rely on them. We'll just report what they tell us
you
at a
remember when you
national
had
level. And the St. Louis County Health Department and St. Louis City County, because we trust them. They know more than us, so that's what's going to happen. You want an investigative story and everything, but that's not what news
It's
is.
fair. It's fair.
So
it's
the problem
fair.
that we have right now is the fact that you're not hearing another side because another side sounds like it's unsafe and reckless when in all actuality it's not.
Right. And it's fair that people, the 100 million people in this country who have contracted COVID-19, who did their due diligence, who went through the sitting in the off to the sidelines for 14 days and keep getting retested. It's fair for those people to ask, where do I stand in this whole equation? And no one's ever told us.
Here's the other thing from the Facebook line, and I'm glad you brought this up. It was Dottie. I saw this too. The World Health Organization 2 days ago said that they were not recommending the vaccine to people 18 and under.
About time.
But you don't see it anywhere in national media. And that's let me repeat that. The WHO, World Health Organization, was not recommending this vaccine to people 18 and under. Yet every high school in the St. Louis area is sending notes home and telling parents they should have their kids vaccinated. They can't force it. Remember, you can't be forced whether you want to get the vaccine or not. I mean, it's totally
But
up
if you want to be on the swim team, you got to do it.
No,
if you want to be
don't.
on the football
No,
team,
no,
you got to do it.
No, you don't. We've talked
Seriously?
about Eric. We've talked about this several times, man. Yeah, I told you it was a high school here. Dr. Naputi was involved in a case where you had a coach who said, "I expect everybody to be vaccinated when you come back," and then this was brought to Naputi's attention. He called the school. The athletic director said, "We apologize. That's not true." The coach then sent an email back out stating, "Oh, I got my words mixed up."
Right.
See, people are just flying off the handle saying whatever they want. That coach then said, and this is important for all of our parents out there or people with loved ones who might be in the situation.
Yep.
We're not forcing you to get it. We're encouraging it, but you don't have to get the vaccine.
It's almost like
these are facts. So you have to really, if something irks you or you're like, take it, don't race into anything. Start asking questions.
Yeah.
That's what you should do. The truth should always set you free, as we talk about, and it should be out there for everybody to see and hear.
Yeah.
And it will be clear as day once you give yourself some time and actually study it.
It seems like we need a national town hall meeting where we have people that ask all the questions. We don't have Fauci up there. We have other people like a Naputi, maybe guys that are that understand viruses.
These are happening. They're just Eric. They're just
it's
not,
being censored. Everything is censored.
These
Okay,
conversations
I'm not
are
talking
being
about
happen.
censor. I'm talking about 14 high definition cameras from the nation's capital. We have a national town hall meeting. Ask any question you want.
It would be
who's gonna
censored.
approve that?
I didn't say it was going to happen. I said that's what we need.
Oh,
to
yeah. No, I
happen.
get it.
If
And
I
I
was
need
running
$1
the
million
place-
too to take care of all my bills today.
Me too. Can I have $1 million too? And I'm not getting the vaccine to get it.
I'm just saying that the public doesn't trust anything.
Yeah, and
we
you
shouldn't,
shouldn't
trust anything.
That's the point.
Do you trust the science community now or the medical community? I sure don't.
But the problem is that we can't trust the national.
I don't trust anyone.
But here's the problem, and this isn't coming from Vic. This is coming from Fox 2, Vic Faust. When it comes to the stories, you can't trust the national media when it comes to medicine. We can't trust Dr. Why? Let me ask you this: do you really feel as if you could trust Dr. Fauci after the emails? The problem is the emails were not covered nationally
He's
in
done.
local news.
He's a dead man walking. He's toast.
You're crazy.
He's toast.
He's toast when?
He's because
the Biden
You mean like
administration.
Cuomo?
No.
Eric,
He's
the
toast.
Biden administration already said they will not
I'm
be
talking about his
firing.
public sentiment. That's what I'm talking about.
Because
but here's I'm not Eric.
I wish
I
that
don't
were
agree. I
true.
wish that was true, but it's not. Despite these emails, and if you take the time to read them, which I did, it blows your mind.
Yeah.
There were specific days where he's writing one opinion in an email and then publicly saying another. You can't trust that.
Yeah.
And that's not us spouting off and going crazy. Those are facts. But the problem is most TV stations aren't taking the time to study and look at the emails.
Right.
The emails show he was saying one thing privately and another thing publicly. which goes to Tabitha's point, which is why I brought it up. Who can you trust?
You can trust no one. But, they do, Eric, they do discuss this stuff. I don't know if you watch either of these channels on OAN and Newsmax. Both of those channels do discuss everything that we're talking about.
I can't wait for News Nation to pop its head up and try to get going.
Well, they're neutral, though.
Well, fine. That's what I was saying. Look.
Yeah, but in this day and age, Tabitha, here's where I disagree. Neutral means you're
factual.
You're forward because you're actually giving a side that has not been
But
heard.
are they covering both sides? Are they talking about Dr. Fauci's emails?
Yes, they did.
Talking about the mistrust in the science.
That's why I love News Nation. Because,
it's good. It's really good.
Then we can add 3 to the list.
The problem is that a lot of people don't know how to find it. 7 to 9.
I know. It's too bad it's not
WGN.
around the clock news.
But you know what, though? That's how Fox News was when they started over 25 years ago.
They're going to have to kick it into motion because 24-hour news stations are all over the place. This is not a new thing. But I don't run that place. I'm trying to run the world right now. And if I was, and I know that, like yesterday, I had a really, I wouldn't say I had a fight with you yesterday, but I just look at you like, my God, I wouldn't want you as my trainer if I was a boxer because you would
I would
quit.
tell you the truth. You wouldn't want to know the truth.
If you were Rocky's trainer, he would have lost to Apollo Creed in Rocky 2.
That is not true
at
all.
It is true.
It
Cut
is
me, Mick.
No,
not true.
Mickey didn't tell Mickey didn't tell Rocky things he wanted to hear.
Exactly.
He told Rocky things he needed to hear.
You don't like it because I don't tell you what you want to hear. I tell you the truth and what the reality of the situation is.
You are very good at trying to hold my feet to reality, like yesterday.
I want to be known as
you
that.
Have to
Both of you guys are.
We have to be in reality. It's great to have pipe dreams and look through everything with rose-colored glasses.
It's not a pipe dream. Here, look. If I came from another planet and I said I'm the ruler of this thing, now you can't hurt me. I'm the ruler of everything. I would, like I said yesterday, there's a way to combat crime in St. Louis. It's easy. It's not that hard. And you guys looked at me like I had worms coming out of my nose, and that's fine.
No, because we all know we all know what we would like to do.
I get it.
It's just the reality of it actually happening is a whole other story.
I get it. And so what you have to look at what the challenge is. The challenge is you and Vic and about 100 other million people in the United States. They don't trust this cat named Fauci anymore. And there's reasons for that.
I believe there are reasons.
There's reasons for that.
Because of the emails.
And that's why he's a dead man walking.
But what do you mean a dead man walking?
He cannot, like when the COVID started and he was under Trump's wing and not Biden's wing, everyone was like, okay, this guy supposedly knows what he's doing. Let's listen to him.
And that was early in the process.
Right. Now, we don't trust a word. There's 100 million people that don't trust one word he says. So you can't lead like that.
I don't. Here's the thing, Eric. I don't know if there's really that many people that don't trust him.
Oh, yes, there are.
Okay. I hope there are. I hope there are.
Look at people are going to rock concerts this weekend in packed stadiums. If they trust Fauci, they wouldn't be there.
But those are people like us. There's a whole world out there that's not like us. People who are not listening to the show. Who are the opposite of the opposing opinion.
I feel like when I leave this radio studio, the rest of my day is surrounded by people, no matter what store where I'm going, that are 100%, I don't want to say clueless, they're just uneducated because they haven't had the opportunity to listen to all sides of a story.
Yeah.
Eric, Dr. Fauci is still being propped up as the man we need to listen to. He's still making the national media rounds.
Right.
And he's still being
on
the person
what
that
national media? He's not on Cavuto anymore. He's not on Fox.
He's on every national broadcast except
he's on the liberal places.
Well, yeah,
okay,
but there's a lot of liberals out there.
They are liberal.
No, I know, but I'm just saying,
MSNBC's liberal, CNN liberal,
CNBC when you break
liberal.
them down,
NBC
in
liberal.
the studies say that they are liberal. Don't lose track, Eric. Yes, Fauci, in my opinion, has shown he can't be trusted.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, don't think for a second that there's still not more people in St. Louis County that think Fauci knows what he's talking about than he don't.
Yes.
Well, then, okay, that's fantastic.
Just like how people agree. A lot of people agree with everything Sam Page did just because we don't. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who voted for him.
So once again, at the beginning of COVID-19, there were the blue states and the red states, and we were all in the same boat. COVID-19's here.
You're still in that situation.
No, we're not. Because I think that the St. Charles-minded, the Lake of the Ozarks-minded people, they want to live their life and they want to go to 45,000-seat stadiums, and we're done with Fauci. We're done. Now, that being said, Vic reported today 900 new cases in the state of Missouri. People that are red staters like myself that want to go to a stadium full of people, we do still have a few questions. Like, if I had COVID, Is it going to affect me? Am I part of this thing called natural humidity? Natural immunity. Is there a way? Is there a way to answer those questions? Can you please?
It is pretty humid out today.
Can you please get this guy named Fauci out of the way so we can ask legitimate people? And there are that's
you're
fair.
Thinking reasonably and logically. Again, you're not thinking how the game is played. Fauci's not going anywhere, Eric. And you don't. Here was what all you need.
That's
to
why
know.
I need Naputi here right now. Where is he at?
Tuesday, 3 weeks ago, the Biden administration said we will not. If Dr. Fauci is not going to be fired. This is when all the email stuff came out. They came out and said it. He's not going to be fired, and that was it. End of story. And then Dr. Fauci's making his media rounds, and now we're talking about the Delta variant. Sam Page having a news conference this week. Missouri, and this is their opportunity to go after Mike Parson.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what, though? What you're not hearing, and this is what frustrates me as a media member because I want all the information out, you're not hearing how many, quote, Delta cases in the St. Louis area. The cases where they're supposedly happening are in rural areas of Missouri, down near Springfield and up in the north.
Right.
Not in St. Louis, but they're like, but they're coming. You got to get vaccinated.
Right. Just another push for vaccinations.
This whole thing is a push for vaccination.
Absolutely,
but why?
And
that's
the question.
Vic,
why? I don't know. And I've asked that same
well,
question.
we already know why. It's about money. It's all about funding, and it's all about money. Because guess what? Ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine cost next to nothing, and we already know that ivermectin pretty much ended all of the death spike in India. It's even being studied now.
You're never going to hear anything about
and
ivermectin.
You're not ever going to hear about it.
Except on this show.
Now, they are studying it right now at, I believe, Harvard.
They are. The true story. No, it's Oxford. But the thing about it is this is where a Elliot Davis comes in.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Eric,
I'm not even kidding.
Eric, oh, my God. I feel like you're my 13-year-old son so many times. Elliot Davis studies.
I understand what he does.
Elliot Davis does tax money stories.
Oh, but he can shift. He can transition.
No, he can't.
It's on an emergency need basis.
Elliot does not fly. I'm sorry. He does not piss fire.
You don't?
That's how much I respect him.
He does not put his hands on people and they become healed.
If Elliot Davis looked in the camera,
Elliot is awesome at tax stories.
I'm because you paid for it.
Okay, I'm moving on. Back to COVID. I mean, away from COVID. Where are we at? Screw it. Back to the Cardinals. No, not the Cardinals.
No, there's too much to talk about. We don't talk about the Cardinals suck. No, now we have information, too, that Trump told Fauci to stop funding the Wuhan lab. That came from the Facebook line. That came out yesterday as well. I saw that headline on Fox News. That's another reason not to, quote, trust Fauci. But guess what? From our Facebook line as well, Eric, and I'm not trying to say you're wrong, but from the Facebook line, unfortunately, go ahead and read comments all over social media. People still love that clown talking about Fauci.
They still love asparagus, too. That's not my problem. But the smart ones hate it because it tastes awful.
We're just so divided. I can't tell you how many millions of people are for Fauci or how many millions are against. But I think there's a lot of people out there who still believe every single thing he says. And they think we are all crazy for not believing him. They hate us for it. Think about that.
It's out there. And so basically, here's the situation you have. Study the information for yourself. We've broken down the facts and we'll continue to. 2/3 of the cases in the UK are the Delta variant, which was the UK variant, which was the Indian or the India variant. It's the same thing. It's just a different name. It has not changed. And guess what? The hospitalizations, the real COVID-19 cases went down. Delta variant cases went up.
Of course.
Hospitalizations and deaths went down.
And where'd the flu go?
The Delta variant went up, but no, the hospitalizations and deaths
let me
did not
ask you
happen.
a question. Can I ask you a question?
As a virus does, it mutates and it becomes more transmissible, but it becomes less lethal because it doesn't want to kill its host.
Are our fearless leaders using this as a weapon? Is this something that is being manufactured, I ask you? Is this something that is a little more nefarious than just this Delta variant coming in from the overseas infecting Missouri? Is there something behind it, or is it just natural? This is what happens. Get used to it. Which one is it? Is it somewhere in there? Do you think that the Faucis of the world are using this for something else? To progress an agenda?
We talked about speculation all the time.
do you
money.
think? What do you think?
All I
Just
know,
what do you think?
Well, Bill Gates said that vaccines were the best investment he's ever made in his entire life.
And the Wuhan guys are talking about these gain of function researches that they were doing 2 years ago, yet we can't go investigate where that happened at. Oh, it happened to be in Wuhan, China. Look at that. How coincidence is that? We can't say that it's a China-made virus. Come on. I know I sound pissed off on the show all the time.
No, you don't.
I do. I really do. And I don't mean to, but it's like sometimes it's like common sense is right in front of your face. You want something fixed, just fix it. But you can't do it.
And that's how life used to be.
You can't even get Elliot Davis on these stories anymore.
Well,
or ever could.
He never was on those stories, Eric.
I'll just be over here if you need me.
Elliot does, and I don't know. David Michael, I think you're stupid. Vic, you're a one-trick pony reporter picking on Eric? What? I'm trying to tell him that Elliot Davis does not do those stories. David, I think you've got some personal issues. Sorry, buddy.
Now, the military did recruit Howard Hughes back in World War II. Remember that. He was making commercial airlines. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And that's what we could do with Elliot Davis. I'll be over here if you need me.
If you only knew. We'll be back with more Edge. Hey, we got Jesse Finney of Shamrock Fighting coming up. That's Eric Johnson. Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, Vic Faust of Fox 2. Back right after this.
This is the Edge Morning Show.
Live on 100.7.
The Viper.
Mom, Ethan's in the tree again.
Ethan, get down.
Can I climb on the swing set instead?
Sounds like it's time to get all your adventure-seeking kids to Holiday World and Splash and Safari. They'll soar on Thunderbird, race against each other on Cheetah Chase, the first launched water coaster, and get the thrills they love on all the wooden roller coasters. Get your family fun off the ground at holidayworld.com.
Free smoking! Free parking! Free sunscreen!
Good morning, privates!
Good morning, Drill Sergeant!
I mean, seriously, what a pleasant morning. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping.
You seem to be in a good mood today.
Astute observation, Private. Astute.
He's probably happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
So, in lieu of the obstacle course today, I propose a nice meditative nature walk. Does that sound delightful to everyone?
Yes, Drill Sergeant!
Have a change of heart with Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
If you want the best, don't settle for the rest. Come to F&S. F&S Collision Repair provides the best customer service, quality of work, paint color match, and paintless dent repair. They do it all. No job too big or too small. Just what your car or truck ordered. F&S Collision. Call today to schedule your appointment and get that car repaired. F&S Collision Repair.
Start your summer concert experience June 26th in Ellsbury with the band's Almost Famous and local musician Jesse Vaughn. The Ellsbury Community Growth Association invites you to this free family-friendly show from 5 to 7 at First Midland Bank and Trust Park. Food and beverages will be available. And for more info and directions, go to growingellsbury.com. Thanks to the presenting sponsor, Heartland Restoration.
Fever is a leading symptom of the coronavirus, so take your temperature twice a day with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's quick and easy to use, and its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies. Have your family start and end their day with the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Your family can take their temperatures in seconds to know where they stand in the fight against COVID-19. Protect your family from the spread of this deadly disease and stay safe with Exergen.
Now another hour of The Edge Morning Show on KFNS Troy St. Charles. The Edge Morning Show.
Community State Bank congratulates the senior class on reaching this milestone. They offer a wide variety of banking services to suit your needs. Stop in at Community State Bank or visit c-s-b.com. Member FDIC.
Viper Weather with legendary chief meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Viper meteorologist Dave Murray with my latest forecast. It is Friday, and we are in a classic, very humid June weather pattern that is just going to bring a ton of rain our way over the next several days. On this Friday, it's hot, it's humid, it's windy, Fading rain early this morning, then periods of rain and thunderstorms redeveloping late this afternoon. So in between, there's dry time, 94 for the high. Tonight, periods of rain and thunderstorms, especially during the evening, then a break, and then redeveloping late at night, 75. Saturday, hot, humid, windy, rain and thunderstorms redeveloping during the afternoon into the evening. 90 degrees. Sunday, very humid. Again, more rain and thunderstorms focused on the afternoon and evening. 88 for the high. This is a pattern that is going to take us into next week. This is a very, very wet pattern, and we are going to be looking at several inches of rain before this is all done, and there will be some severe weather. So let's really pay attention to the sky and the forecast. For the Viper Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Now back to the Edge on 100.7, the Viper.
Whipper River Electric, a Touchstone Energy cooperative. Morning Show.
Local headlines now with Fox 2's Vic Faust.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Time to look at your morning headlines at 8:58. Okay. We love the Cardinals, but they've lost 17 of 23 games. I'm going to do some research. I don't think the Cardinals have lost 17 of 23 games since before Tony La Russa, and I'm not kidding. It's bad. It's really bad. I don't know. Something's going on. Don't be surprised if you see somebody lose their job. Cardinals hosting the Pirates again tonight, another last-place team. They're 0-3 their last 3 games against last-place teams, and they're not even close. At least there's some good news. There's a Yachty tumbler for those going to the game tonight. We'll see if that can get 20,000 people into the stands with the weather. All right, I'm sorry. A man was shot at Kirkwood's Meacham Park early this morning. The extent of the injury is not known yet or what started the gunfire. We're still awaiting an autopsy or toxicology report of the man who was found floating in a Shaw Park pond in Clayton. Very, very interesting situation. No signs of foul play or identification on the man, just that he was in his late teens, early 20s and was an African-American man. That's all we know right now. A SLU security guard shoots and kills a man on Locust Street as well early this morning. He said that the suspect had 2 guns in his hands. That's all we know from that right now. Missouri says they're reporting 900 cases of the Delta variant. We've been talking about that this morning. Sentencing for Derek Chauvin is expected today, who could face upwards of 40 years in prison. Vice President Kamala Harris finally going to the border after 93 days, or El Paso. President Trump, or former President Trump, is expected to be going there as well. We've also got some crazy weather that's supposed to be coming throughout the St. Louis area this entire weekend. So we'll keep you posted, and that's a look at your morning headlines.
This is the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. Eric Johnson's here, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. If you want to give us a call throughout the show, we're here till 10 o'clock, the fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio. An hour already down, pretty fast as always. 636-695-2915, 636-695-2915. Eric Johnson's here, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust, and guess what? It's time to talk things over. We're going to continue to talk about the variant. We're going to continue to talk about what you want. But right now, we are joined by Jesse Finney of Shamrock FC Fighting Championships. They're back in St. Charles tonight. Always a great show. Jesse also, the man who puts on guns and hoses. And he's just an all-around good guy. Jesse, good morning. Thanks for taking time and joining us on The Edge for the first time ever. Congratulations on getting fights back. I can't imagine how excited you are. Do we have him on, Chris? Jesse, can you hear me? Jesse, do you got us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jesse, it's good to have you. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Jesse. Good morning. I hope that you had a chance to hear the intro. If you didn't, I can redo it for you. But I'm sure you're excited to get these fights back tonight. It's been a long time.
I did not hear the intro, but you never fail. So you never disappoint, my friend. So I'm sure it was great.
Well, it's time to get fights
back.
back.
Get the fights going this weekend.
What are the details again, right off the bat, for people to know?
Details. We haven't, it's our first fight back in 16 months, and we're at Ameristar Casino in St. Charles, Missouri. It is 21 and up crowd for tickets. Tickets are very scarce. So if you want tickets, it's shamrockfc.com. You can go on there. The only tickets that are left are standing room only. I will tell you that. All the other seats are completely sold out. There's less than 30 standing room only tickets for Friday night and Saturday night. So we're going 2 nights back to back, Friday, Saturday, professional mixed martial arts at Ameristar Casino, St. Charles, Missouri. It's going to be first class, and it's going to be top notch.
How do you get the blood off the carpet? Because I know you guys are in a.
They're in a ring.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
They're not in the middle of the bar.
I went to one of your events. I
It's
think it
not
was
a bar fight.
No, is this in a bar, or you guys have one of the banquet rooms? Where are you guys at?
Oh, no, we're upstairs.
Upstairs?
At Ameristar. We're upstairs at Ameristar.
Yeah.
It seats 1,600 people, so we'll be completely jam-packed full. And, tickets are $50 for standing room, so that's the only thing that is left right now.
I'll tell you what. I don't know if you did it over at the Family Arena, but I went to see one of these events, and the women were more brutal than the guys. Is that usually the case? Because these ladies, it was just game on. It's fascinating to watch them fight.
I think that's in life alone. They're meaner than us. I'm kidding. No, they'll bring it. We've got, I think, three women's fights over the next 2 days, starting tonight at 7:30.
Yes.
No, the women will bring the fight.
Yes, they will.
It'll be an amazing card from top to bottom. So it's going to be. We're ready. We're ready. I will tell you guys, we had the opportunity to go at 50% capacity. We had the opportunity to go at 70% capacity. And then when they actually gave the 100% capacity, I said, okay, we'll do it, because if we're going to do it, I wanted to do it right.
Right.
And come out with a bang and do it in 2 shows back to back. It was kind of bizarre, to be honest with you, because we put tickets on sale and we sold about 80-90% of the tickets the first 5 days. Man. So then the casino says, hey, listen, do you want to do well, actually, I take that back. My operations guy came to me and said, hey, you want to do a second show, because we've got all this demand for all these fighters, and then we've got all the demand from just people buying all these tickets, and people are ready to get back to normal, quote unquote, right? So we're at full capacity. Masks are not required unless you're not vaccinated. Hopefully everyone's going to do the right thing here, and we want to do it safely. And here we are, and we'll put 3,500 people through that casino this weekend.
Do you ever see? Yeah. Do you ever see? We got to get you introduced to Chris here. Chris Knight on the show. He stumbles through the casino every now and then. And
he's at the circle bar all the time.
Hey, Jesse, the first thing I want to say.
He's a high roller there, by the way. He's got a plaque.
He does.
Damn whale.
Hey, Jesse, the first thing I want to say is I miss Jim Silvernail, my good buddy.
Oh, I know.
I love Ron Battelle, love Steve Jolly. I have not missed many Guns and Hoses events. I think I've pretty much been to every single one of them, including the bull riding things. And I just can you tell everyone a little bit about Guns and Hoses and what comes out of this?
And by the way, for people who don't know, Jesse puts on the Guns and Hoses shows and does a magnificent job, by the way.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, but I don't think that I put it on. We all put it on together as a team. I'm the vice president of of Guns and Hoses. If people are not familiar with it, it's for fallen first responders that have not made it. As we like to say, it's the best insurance policy that we hope that they never have to use. But we fully support the backstoppers, police, firemen, paramedics, anybody in the first responders. It's the night before Thanksgiving. We will be back full capacity this year. Year before last, we raised $900,000. This year, without an event with the sponsors, we did $500,000. So it's going to be awesome this year, and we're big supporters of the backstoppers, and we hope that we hope more people get behind it. That's just the bottom line. And one day we'll hit $1 million that we can donate, and 100% of the proceeds go to backstoppers. We don't have anybody that's on payroll, so everybody you see there working that night is a volunteer, including myself and including my staff and everybody else. And we're actually going to be live on Fox 2 this year. So, and then we will be streaming live on fight.tv as well for people across the world.
That's
Jesse,
so
you made
awesome.
the comment earlier about vaccinations. Do you have to have a vaccination? Do you have to show a vaccination card to get your ticket?
No, you don't have to show your vaccination. I mean, it's just like anywhere else. I mean, we're going on the honor system. We hope people do the right things.
Hey, Jesse, first of all, I'm glad Fox 2 is putting this on live. That gets me excited. Great news to hear from that standpoint. Also, when it comes to the fight situations that you have, whether it's with, by the way, Backstoppers has over, I think they're supporting over 90 families right now, which is just insane. Do you know that statistic to be 100% sure?
Well, I think it's going to be closer to 100 here, probably. There's things in the works, but I think it's going to be close to 100 families here by the next couple months. I mean, simply because we just had a gentleman in the fire department pass away, and so getting close to 100 people, and that's families, not just an individual. That's families, all the way through college.
That is crazy. Hey, do you know what's interesting too? When you get, from a personal standpoint, you grew up in this area. You're a former fighter yourself. You know a lot of people. You're a St. Louis and through. You like to get out and have a good time. How have you handled everything? It's ironic because about 15, 16 months ago, the last time when things were really out there, Kim and I ran into you and your wife, Kelly, and we had a great time at the Blues game. And then everything was shut down 2 days later. It's like, I haven't seen you since. That's what's been crazy.
Bizarre. It really was. I mean, that was a great time. Great time at the Blues game. I mean, everything was going amazing. And, and then all of a sudden we had this thing called COVID-19. And, it's been crazy. But, it's been an amazing time with the kids. And quite frankly, it's been an amazing time for business simply because we could sit back and reflect and kind of regroup and see exactly what we were doing right, what we were doing wrong. We've lost millions of dollars, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't take it with you. And number two, like, we will we'll come back stronger from this.
Oh,
I really, truly believe that. I mean, in the long run, we looked, for us in the fight business, you have to sometimes smell the roses a little bit. I mean, we've done 330 shows in the last 23 years. So we have a huge library that we never got a chance to actually go through, and now we know exactly what we have and what we can't do as far as our assets go. As far as the gym business goes, we were able to, look where we were spending unnecessary money, but it's been great, man. I mean, my kids are a great age; they're 10 and 8, so it's been amazing there. But they're driving me nuts. It's time to get back to work.
So, are you guys at Savage Center again this year?
We will be for the Guns N' Roses. We will back in.
Whatever it's called now.
It's called the Enterprise.
Fine, that's great
nowadays. So.
Eric,
that's giving you trouble.
Eric, they put a lot of money.
Dude, I still call it Riverport, for God's sakes. Is it still over at Enterprise?
Well, you
this
can
year?
do that, but I know the people at Enterprise.
Fine, that's how often I go down to St. Louis City. Are you guys?
We're playing where the St. Louis Blues play.
Okay.
Excuse me. The fights will be at where the St. Louis Blues.
So you guys could legitimately have 20,000 people this year watching.
Oh, well, let's hope so.
Guns N' Roses.
It's a great show, and it goes quick for as many fights.
Yes, I mean we'll end up, hopefully we'll end up at the 22,000 mark because we can do 2,000 on the floor as well, right?
Wow!
So, we'll get back to that, hopefully, and then obviously everything will be on Fox 2 locally, and then on Fight.tv.
Can you get Vic, Chris, and myself a media badge? We're requesting early.
What about me, Eric?
I can't. Yes, I can.
No, we should get the media badge. What we should do is we should go in together and get one of the ringside tables. It's a blast.
I like that.
Or a suite.
Come on.
Or a suite.
I just didn't think you wanted to go.
I go every year.
It's brutal.
Those have been sold out for about 10 years. So unfortunately.
Okay.
But Vic, you're welcome to sit at my table again. So
he said Vic.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've sat
I can
there
play
before.
the part of Vic.
But here's
really
the problem:
easy.
you can sit at the table. But
Did you notice what he said? Screw the rest of you, but Vic, you're okay.
I know.
You can sit at my table.
What the hell?
Thanks, man. We appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
No,
That's
and
right.
guess what? I'm lucky to get to a Jesse table. Trust me.
I understand.
And,
We'll
hey,
live
Jesse,
vicariously through you.
We sneak them in the side door.
That's what we do too.
We put a fight robe on them.
That's funny. Hey, before we let you go this morning, because you do know so much about the fight world from the Facebook line, okay, who is going to win this fight? Do you think it's going to be good between McGregor and Poirier 3? It's the third fight. I like both fighters, and I have no idea which way it's going to go because I think McGregor's such a wild card.
You have to. He's the champ. He's the guy.
No, he's not the champ anymore. He got beat.
Who's going to win
He's
this
lost
thing?
his last couple fights.
I know. Who's going to win this thing?
Look, at the end of the day, I really mean this too. Is love him or hate him, Conor McGregor is great for our sport. He's got people out there talking about it and watching. They would never do it. That's number one. Number two, I would tell you that I just think that the Conor McGregor mystery has been figured out. Right. So Conor McGregor is also the guy that I bet on Jose Aldo beating him, all these other guys beating him. And finally, I'm like, okay, this guy's just proving me wrong time and time again. But I really do feel like Dustin Poirier is a lot better fighter overall than he is. And I feel like he's got Conor figured out. I really, truly believe that. And I say that, and then the next thing you know, Conor McGregor is going to prove me wrong again. So the longer we can keep Conor McGregor in our sport is truly going to be better for the long term for everybody, because he has people buzzing. He has people talking no matter who you're. If you're a fan of the NFL, NHL, MMA, boxing, everybody knows who Conor McGregor is. So that is good for the sport.
Yeah, I've got a 13-year-old who walks through the house like Conor walks into the ring with his arms flapping behind his back.
Slinging. That's okay. I have an 8-year-old doing it too, so that's all right.
Hey, Jesse, once again, congratulations on getting fights back. Thanks for joining us this morning. Shamrock FC getting back at the Ameristar tonight, and I'll show Chris a picture of you. Maybe when Chris is over at the Ameristar, he can come up and say hi to you.
Come on up, Chris. I'm sure you can probably get tickets from the casino.
And Chris could probably buy out one of those tables that you already have sold.
He could buy out the entire event.
I have connections. I'll get us a table.
Chris,
hey, I say everything's for sale except my wife and kids. All right, so
he's got enough money. Don't worry about it.
You guys have a wonderful weekend.
Okay. Thanks, Jesse. Appreciate the time. Jesse, he is really just the good dude moniker. He really is.
Good. Yeah. I don't think I've ever met Jesse. I am pretty sure I know everyone else from the Guns N' Hoses staff, but I don't recall ever meeting Jesse.
I didn't mean
before.
to offend you. I just did. It just slipped my mind.
I just said I've been to every single Guns N' Hoses event, and then you don't include.
There's a
that's
lot
okay,
of women
Eric.
that love that now.
That's okay. You know why? Well, I'm there for the party, but I am usually up in the responder rescue suite every year. Mm-hmm. So you guys,
so you're not there
you
for
guys
the fight.
Can find
you're
your
there
own
for
seats.
the networking with the. You're there for the networking.
I'm there to
correct?
support. I'm there to support Guns N' Hoses.
I got you.
And backstoppers.
Okay. Okay, Chris, you got me
and
back
responder
on.
rescue all at the same time.
No, you're there for the whole thing. It's a great time.
Don't you think? Remember wrestling at the Chase?
Yes.
Well, I was a little
I heard
kid.
of it.
I watched it on TV.
Because that was fake. Get it? Okay. How awesome would it be if you woke up every Saturday morning and Wrestling at the Chase, Channel 11, KPLR, broadcast UFC fights? The new Wrestling at the Chase was real.
Okay. I see.
Oh, you just waved me off.
No, I didn't.
But that's wrestling.
No,
wrestling
I'm not talking
is
wrestling.
stupid.
I'm talking UFC.
Well,
I'm talking UFC.
I like UFC, and I like
every
the MMA.
morning you get your coffee and eggs, and you're watching that crap.
Yeah, it's.
That's like a PRL show. Watching wrestling.
I'm just curious. Hey, guess who's on the line? Esther McCullen, our good friend.
Dr.
Dallas,
Naputi.
No, Dallas Thompson.
Dallas!
From
All right.
Missouri Highway Patrol.
I am so glad to talk to Dallas today.
I knew you
we
would
need
be.
him.
I asked Dallas.
He should
Dallas,
be on here
good
every
morning.
week.
How are you doing
Ask
this
him who's
morning?
going to win Guns N' Hoses. Dallas?
Yes, sir.
Where's your money on Guns N' Hoses this year?
Well, little police officers.
Yeah. Duh. Eric.
He's the blue team.
I was going to say, that's an easy question.
What if he said, well, I don't know. The fire department
Team
has.
Blue, yeah.
Team Blue.
The fire department's got a really
Do you
good
guys
team.
ever have any? Do you guys ever have any state cops fight in that?
We have. A couple years ago, I know we had one, and I think we had one that was going to this past year whenever it was canceled. I don't know if he's going to get back into it this year or not.
You ever do any of the ring fighting?
No. I don't like getting hit. At all.
Now you sound like Eric. Yeah.
Yeah, true story.
I'll leave that stuff to those crazy folks.
No, that's true. I get it. Yeah, you do have a brain. Dallas, I want to bring you on to just to kind of get an update. We try to check in with you every now and then to see how things are going with the men and women of MHP and the roads. And I guess right out of the gate, we're laughing and having a good time, but yesterday was not a good time. Another fatal accident in Lincoln County. If you can kind of talk about what happened there. The thing that blew my mind more than anything, and I'm sorry, and I may piss some people off when I say this, how anybody can get in a vehicle without a seatbelt blows my freaking mind.
Right. We talk about it for years now about seatbelt safety, and seatbelts are the best course of safety we have when you're in a vehicle, whether you're driving it or you're a passenger in it. And, we look at our fatals across the state, and we're up 6 or 7% where we was this time last year. And every year 65 to 70% of all of our fatal crashes, the passengers or the drivers were not buckled up. So we can only imagine how many people's lives have been saved if they just simply put their seatbelt on.
And all three people who lost their lives yesterday didn't have their seatbelt on, correct?
Well, that's still completely under investigation. One of the vehicles caught fire, so it's hard to determine right now because of the fire. So they're going to continue looking at the vehicle and see if they can determine for sure if the seatbelts were used or not. Preliminary, we're thinking no, but we'll have to continue on that investigation.
You want to give us an update on the safety of the Missouri highways right now at St. Louis? Any gun violence that it seems like it's down. You don't hear about it much lately. Have you guys turned a corner on that?
Well, I sure hope so.
Let Chris tell you a story in a second.
Whatever the reasoning is, I sure hope so. We've had a couple reported road rage incidents in the last week or so where some handguns might have been displayed or one was fired. I don't believe anybody was struck. But, it's not we're not hearing about it daily like we was here a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago. So hopefully we are taking a turn. Maybe people are getting a conscience and thinking about the consequences of their actions. We'll see. Summer's early here. People's going to start driving on the roadways more. Traffic's going to be more heavily congested. The chances of some more road rage incidents coming up in the next few weeks is very quite possible. But we're going to hope for the best, that people just let cooler heads prevail. We're trying to tell people, to avoid incidents of road rage. If you see someone driving aggressively around you, just to slow down, let them get by you. Take the next exit if you have to. Let cooler heads prevail. When it's safe, call 911 or star 55 and report those actions of those drivers to law enforcement, and let us try to get that stopped.
Star 55, Eric.
I don't know what star 55 is. What is that? Just for the people who don't know.
Yeah, star 55 is a number you can call from your mobile phone that takes you straight to a Highway Patrol headquarters. So anywhere in the state of Missouri, you dial star 55, and it will take you straight to the nearest Highway Patrol headquarters, whether you're in Kansas City, Poplar Bluff, St. Louis area, to go to our nearest Highway Patrol headquarters, and we can get a trooper dispatched to you.
Okay.
Hey, Dallas, I am so glad to talk to you.
ma'am.
The first thing I do every single morning, being that I live here in St. Charles County, I look at the St. Charles County scanner page on Facebook. And every single day this week, and I believe last week, everything I saw was there was an accident. There was a rollover. There was a fatality. What in the world is going on, and why won't people slow down?
Well, that's a good question that we can't answer. We preach it, try to get people to slow down. We're doing public service announcements. We're doing enforcement projects. We got saturating different areas where we know these crashes are a problem and high speeds are a problem, and we're still continuing to get these people driving in high speeds.
Yes.
The head-on crash yesterday with the 3 fatalities. More than likely that's going to be an issue with someone driving too fast and losing control. But we hear these stories every day, and majority of our crashes we're seeing right now, whether they're injury, fatal, or just a non-injury crash, are either people being distracted or driving too fast.
And somebody of them have to be speed related.
Well,
they have to be.
If
they're rolling over,
on that
some of these
note,
rollover accidents, how can you not roll over if somebody involved wasn't speeding?
There was a dump truck, not a dump truck, a cement truck that went off the highway, and I know it had to be fatal. But I will say this: I get upset because people will start to come in my lane, and I think that they're doing it on purpose, Dallas. I think there needs to be a law. If you're on your and it is high speeds, we're at 75, 80 miles an hour. But on top of that, you now have this cell phone that people are looking at. And that's got to be
Maybe you shouldn't be driving 75 and 80 miles an hour. Start there.
I don't know that.
Well, just because your Jeep won't do it doesn't mean
no one
our
should
car
be driving
won't do it.
75 or 80 miles an hour, even if your car
But
can
a
do it.
semi-tractor trailer that is looking at his phone at 75 miles, that's got to be contributing to some of this, don't you think?
Now, when you're talking about commercial vehicles and tractor trailers, there is federal regulations that prohibit them from operating cell phones while driving. But in Missouri, aside from commercial vehicles, if you're over the age of 21, it's not illegal to text and drive or be on a cell phone or anything. That's legislation that's been pushed through for several years now.
It has to be.
Several states around us have that hands-free policies. but Missouri's never been able to get that pushed through our legislation. So the Highway Patrol is all in favor of any kind of legislation that will help save lives and protect motorists. We are in favor of stuff like that if it's going to reduce the amount of crashes and the heartache in families' lives.
Boy, there's no doubt about that. Dallas, before you go this morning, we appreciate the update. Anything else besides what we've asked you already and talked about that you want to update anybody on?
The last week's been kind of a tumultuous week for drownings in our area. We've been hearing a lot of that on the news, and I think last week we had 4 or 5 drownings.
We had 5 drownings last week.
Yeah, so we are really encouraging people to think smart if they're going to be going out to the roadway or to the waterways, rivers, lakes, streams, and always make sure they have a life jacket that's made to fit them, that fits properly for the right weight. From what I understand, we're trying to figure out why so many people are going to the rivers and things this year, more so than in years past. And I haven't been able to verify it, but I'm hearing that a lot of the public swimming pools this year are closed still, either because they don't have manpower to run them or they can't get the proper chemicals right now because of a shortage to keep them clean and open. So a lot of people are going to the rivers and streams instead of going to the public swimming pools. And you might be a really good swimmer in a swimming pool, and you get out to a river where there's some current, you might not be that great of a swimmer. You get in that current, you get fatigued really quickly. So we just want people to know rivers can be fun, but they can also be very dangerous.
Oh, God, yeah.
And don't go jumping off tree limbs into the water. Don't jump off railroad trestles and bridges into the water and try to swim out of those like a diving board. Once you get under the water with that current, you don't know what's underneath there. There could be some logs or debris that you get caught up in. It's also from flooding. It might not have been there last week. But we had some heavy rains and those rivers change, so they can be very dangerous. So we're really pushing people to really take it easy and be safe out on our waterways. We've had, I think, 12 in Missouri already this year, or 11 in Missouri this year, and all last year we only had 12. So we are way ahead of pace to surpass where we was totally last year. Yeah. And the summer hasn't really began. We got the 4th of July weekend coming up. We know people's going to be going to the lakes and streams. So we just really can't press hard enough the issue of safety on our waterways.
Dallas, thanks for the time. And by the way, it is allowed if people see you at a restaurant or a gas station. People can, buy a cold drink or some food, right? You guys will accept it, right? The men and women of MHP?
Yeah, we don't like to accept gratuities, but if someone just throws it at me, you don't want to be rude.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking about bribery. I'm just talking about doing something nice.
Right.
For the men in blue.
We see that a lot. We see that a lot in a lot of the restaurants, and that's what gives police officers hope that there is still a lot of good people in our country, in our state. We go to restaurants quite often, and we'll order a meal, and we go to pay, and someone's already taken care of it.
That is amazing.
So that's very much appreciative. It's not expected, but it's very much appreciated, and we want people to know that. But that makes us put a smile on our face that there's still lots of good people in this world that support law enforcement, especially in this day and age.
You just remind
so much controversy in law enforcement and the public that to know that there's still a lot of support for law enforcement makes us feel good.
He just reminded me of something. We did a story the other day with a kid who helped a police officer that was being chokeholded, and he took the perpetrator off the cop. I got one simple question. If
Did you hear about this story, by the way? Gunner Sexton?
I did not.
From Montgomery County?
You want to tell him the story first? Or how Gunner Sexton out of Montgomery, there was a cop that was trying to apprehend a suspect. The suspect got the draw on him and had him in a chokehold. Bad things could have happened from there. This kid, Gunner Sexton, 16 years old, I guess he was 16.
And 2 other men.
And 2 other men got the perp off of the cop. My question to you, is that a recommended thing that if you see an officer in trouble, the public should step in? Or do you recommend that the public just stays back out of danger in any situation?
No, that's a case-by-case basis. We applaud that young man for taking that and doing that. Would we say I recommend someone to not do that? If I'm in need help, I'm greatly appreciative that someone would do that for me. I would recommend that young man there to be an honorary police officer or some kind of life-saving award because there's probably no doubt he saved that officer's life.
No question.
Wow! Yes, I think we got to lobby for
give
it.
advice of to do that or not to do that. It just depends on your comfort. Are you comfortable putting yourself in that situation? Or if you're going to put yourself in that situation, then commit to that act and don't chicken out the last second. Because you just might put yourself in harm's way.
Exactly. Because then you can cause everybody an issue.
That's exactly the answer I was kind of hoping for.
Well,
Thank you.
Dallas, we hope you have a great weekend. Tell everybody, the men and women of MHP, that you have our support, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much for updating people and all the advice that you have.
We sure do. Appreciate you letting us come on and talk every once in a while. So we'll stay in touch.
All right. I hope we don't see you on the roads. Have a good weekend.
We will be name dropping you.
Dallas Thompson, Missouri State Highway Patrol. I think we got to take a break. It's always good to talk with Dallas. Just a great all-around guy, and always willing to come on.
What if he came on and said, "Yeah, I'm rooting for the firemen this year."
Yeah,
just to be different.
Hey, Tabitha.
Yes.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
So you
Chris
were
speaks.
complaining earlier.
Here we go.
I know where Chris is going.
I have no idea.
that
you should.
You were complaining earlier that people drive too slow.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah, if they drive
Now
under
that
the
the
speed
highway
limit.
patrol's on the phone, you're complaining.
She's a master of talking out of
Hey,
both sides of
now.
her mouth.
Drive too fast.
Driving too slow below the speed limit is probably more dangerous than driving
Flip-flop
a little
tab.
bit above the speed limit.
Flip-flop.
But don't get on the roads and drive 40 miles an hour if the speed limit's 50.
The brand new
Tabitha
flip-flop
says
tabs.
this is a case-by-case basis.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. Right.
I kind of see what she's saying.
And don't be
I
driving
get it.
75 and 80 because you are putting your life in danger. And almost everyone in this room has children. So.
Tab, you know,
Eric,
you-
if she was driving your car, Chris's car, she'd be driving something.
no, I
You would
wouldn't.
know how to handle
No,
the
I wouldn't.
power.
You know she
No, I
would.
wouldn't.
The power.
I haven't had a ticket since I was 17.
Look,
I
she's
don't
yeah,
have
you
one.
have.
That
No, I
Jeep
haven't.
won't
You
do
just
it.
ran
Not
over
for
a street
speeding.
sign.
And you know, they never gave me a ticket for that, by the way.
Oh, you said you got ticketed.
No, they never, not for running over the street sign.
What did they give you? What else did you do?
Were you like going off-roading on purpose or something?
No, it was
She
that big,
bounced
it was
on
that
the
really
bridge.
bad
Over a
snowy
street
day.
sign and didn't get a
I
ticket.
was going down a hill, and I was right in
I
front of the
know.
police
Here we
officer.
go.
Oh, yeah, that's the day
Remember?
you were in here talking that you never get in an accident.
It's true.
What
Right
were you
in there.
ticketed with then?
Because for some reason the DMV messed up, and my car is not registered.
Okay, fine.
It's still not registered because they don't think I exist.
She literally bought a car with a governor on it. She can only go so fast. she just leaves the parking lot and pushes it all the way down to the floor.
Hey, but I bet you're jealous of my fun Jeep.
I'm like, sweet baby Jesus, don't let me run over a car sign today since I'm making or a street sign. Since I'm making fun of Tabitha.
Oh, that's
Count
exactly
your
what's going to
blessings that
happen.
you ran over a street sign and didn't get a ticket. I don't know.
The car's not even big enough
just
to
see
put it on the
Tabitha in her
ground.
Jeep running over a street sign.
It bounced off of a
Sideways, I
stop
bet.
sign.
Sideways.
Okay, sorry.
Did you tear up the grass and stuff, too?
No, it was snow. It was just a big blanket of snow.
I would have loved to have an interior camera on her when that was happening. Oh, darn it.
Well, I told the officer, I'm like, I don't think you guys will miss this sign. I'm like, it's kind of
That's
off
not-
here in the corner.
That's
No,
not
and actually,
funny.
you know what I told him? I said it bounced back up. It should be okay because I hit it, knocked it over, but it bounced right back up. And he's like, no, it doesn't work
The
that
stop
way.
signs are on springs all of a sudden. Boing.
All right, we'll be back with more Edge right after this. Don't go anywhere. Our man Joe Rogan, who just signed a $100 million podcast deal, says he knows why Hollywood is so liberal. We'll be back right after this.
Wake up. The Edge Morning Show.
You went online to switch your car insurance to Progressive so you could save money. But then you saw a friend request from an old summer camp buddy. And now here you are, clicking through photos of his kickball team from 2011. Looks like they won the championship that year. Then he moved to Tulsa. Oh, a new tattoo. Yes, they said it was easy to save hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average savings by new customer surveyed who saved in 2019.
Whether you're a pro on the job site or managing properties, clean and safe is your #1 priority. And Lowe's has the pro-grade cleaning supplies you need. We go beyond the basics, bringing you commercial cleaning from top brands like Clorox, Zep, and Rubbermaid. And in larger sizes, so you can take on any cleaning job, knowing you have the quantity you need. Shop Lowe'sForPros.com and have your items delivered, or pick up in store. Lowe's, the new home for pros. U.S. only.
As a trauma-informed provider, Compass Health Network is equipped to assist you or a loved one struggling with trauma, anxiety, depression, substance use disorder, or other behavioral health conditions. Our providers understand that everyone's life experiences are different and will work with you in person or virtually to develop the most effective plan of care. You are not alone. Call Compass Health Network today at 844-853-8937 or visit compasshealthnetwork.org for more information.
Tired of lying awake, tossing and turning, just hoping for a few hours of sleep? Get the sleep you crave with the one-of-a-kind Tempur-Pedic. Only Tempur-Pedic uses proprietary Tempur material that continuously adapts and responds to your body to relieve pressure, so you get deep, uninterrupted sleep all night, every night. The Tempur-Pedic Summer of Sleep is going on now. Take advantage of our best offer of the year and experience your best sleep of the summer. All Tempur-Pedic mattresses are on sale with select savings up to $500. Learn more at TempurPedic.com.
Spectrum Glass is known for their quality work on windshields, but they do so much more. Spectrum Glass also specializes in residential, commercial, and automotive window tinting. Reduce the heat, reduce the painting, and increase your comfort with professional window tinting from Spectrum Glass. Serving St. Charles and surrounding counties since 1995, Spectrum Glass is still your premier company for windshield replacement. And with free mobile service, they come to you. 636-294-1800 on Facebook and SpectrumGlassOnline.com.
Reed's Rockets in Wright City has your fireworks. Try the Max 800 shots, a 30-minute show. Turn out the lights and let night lights dazzle with color and glitter that hangs in the sky. The ultimate American celebration is This Is America. Over 100 gigantic color bursts. Reed's Rockets in Wright City caters to families with the biggest selection for children. Get a kid's assortment free when you spend $100 or more. Reed's Rockets is family-owned and operated and local. The money you spend here stays here. At Reed's, the more you spend, the more you'll save. So come by and see Donnie Reed, the deal maker. Reed's Rockets, 425 West Service Road North in the heart of Wright City. Take I-70, exit 199. Look for the big red and white striped tent. Open through July 10th. Visit ReedsRockets.com.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Everybody, welcome back to The Edge. We appreciate you joining us. Eric Johnson's here, Tabitha Hassell, Chris Nett. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. I've had a great show already today. We're still taking it to the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. One thing I know that, Tabitha, you want to talk about is the tragedy that's still unfolding down in Florida, in Miami Beach, in regards to the 12-story apartment complex collapsing, but only a fourth of it collapsed. It was only a fourth of it. It's not like, and if you've seen pictures, you know what I'm talking about. But I mean, by the time that they find,
did you see the video?
All the bodies. Yeah, I've seen the video. You may have what, 150, 160 people.
55 condos, 159 people right now unaccounted for. 4 deaths, 4 confirmed deaths, and like I said earlier this morning, Miami Homicide is working on the case. The FBI has been brought in, and that is because I'm going to assume that it's negligence, because everyone knew that this building had structural issues. And I can only speculate that, well, I've been told, allegedly, that the homeowners association didn't want to raise their fees. Therefore, they just didn't do anything about it. But residents have reported they've heard creaking and cracking for weeks.
3/4 of the residents were born in another country.
Yes,
that came
correct.
out yesterday, too. So you had,
and that's why the FBI is involved.
You had multiple nationalities living there
Correct.
down in Miami. I don't know if that... Well, I don't know any of the specifics outside of that. It's once again, it's sad. And by the time you find all the bodies,
awful,
at this point in time,
awful.
I don't know if it's still
It's a search and rescue still, is what they're calling it.
Search and rescue. Okay.
But what terrifies me is that when this first happened, people reported hearing multiple people crying and screaming. And then in a very short amount of time, they just became silent. It's just awful. I had a bad dream about it last night. It's a terrible situation.
Yeah.
It makes me think of a sinkhole.
Yeah, it could be too.
Well, the city of Miami had been studying this area because they were trying to figure out what parts of Miami are sinking. And this building in particular, they said had been sinking inches. prior to this collapse. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the area.
That's a problem.
That is exactly
That's
the problem. And everyone knew, and no one did anything. And I'm sure that's why homicide is involved, because the people who should have been making the right decisions for these residents are probably going to get charged with homicide, as they should be. They put these people's lives in danger by not being active.
It's a 40-year-old building. It was built on sand. It was built on a place that gets nailed with hurricanes quite often. It was sinking 2 millimeters a year. Parts of the ground were sinking 2 millimeters a year. Other parts were not. So it was continually cracking. There are so many of these buildings in Florida, South Florida, the Panhandle, all over the place. And they were built in the 80s. That's where real estate really blew up. That's where people really wanted to go to the beach. It would start in the 50s up through the 80s and continues. So it should be no surprise that a piece of architecture in Miami that was created with concrete, rebar, cracks, and falls into the sea. There should be no surprise. I guess what you need to do at this point is you need to get every engineer that you can in the country right now and go and search Miami right now and see if these buildings are safe.
And
if
they
they're
need
not,
to check the others.
If they're not, you get everybody out
All right,
immediately.
I've stayed at the building next door to it. I used to have a timeshare there at the Solera in Surfside. And, that was back in the 90s. I don't even remember that much about it. But it does make you wonder, is this same situation potentially going to happen to these other buildings they're made almost exactly the same? If that building's sinking, wouldn't the other ones be also?
It's the question. This is not the most stable ground on the planet.
You're right. It's sands.
Florida is a steep with sinkholes.
Absolutely so.
And I've seen them. I mean, I go to Pensacola. I used to go to Pensacola a lot, and you would go down and they would have a road closed every time I went down there because of some sinkhole.
You're absolutely right. Remember, there was a guy a couple years ago who was sleeping in his bed in the middle of the night, and a sinkhole took his entire bedroom. I mean, he was never even recovered.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was in Florida.
Yeah. And if you look at this building, is it me or am I losing my mind? It looks like the parking garage has actually sunk. How does that happen when a building collapses?
I believe it was. I don't guess I understand.
If you
what
go
you're
and look
saying.
at some of the
I think
pictures,
it's made that way.
Maybe it is.
Because the building that I
don't know.
stayed in next door, I've only been there once, but when I stayed at the building next door to the Solera, I remember parking. You pull up, and the building I was at had valet parking, but the parking was kind of not underground, but it was sunken a little bit. But the parking took up the entire bottom level, which means that the building was held up on metal beams.
Yeah.
Which to me, it doesn't seem that structurally sound.
And when I was
anyway.
in Seattle, Washington, Seattle's another place that has a bunch of buildings that should be floored right now because Seattle gets hit with earthquakes. But it was a city that didn't really build its buildings around earthquakes. And a lot of the buildings when I left there were starting to get these springs, and they were starting to drill.
They build things very differently now.
And they were starting to retrofit these buildings with springs and put it into as much bedrock as they could get their hands on. And it saved a lot of these buildings. They can now sway and they can become more safe. Florida needs to upgrade its technology. It gets blasted with hurricanes, salt, wind, and now sinkholes. It really needs to go and take a look at architecture that was built back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s and say, yeah, we can do much better than this. It is a tragedy, and it might be shocking that this is the first time that this has happened that I'm aware of. Maybe it has happened before, but I don't know. And so, yeah, it's time that DeSantis says, we have every Army Corps of Engineer guy coming in from around the country, and we're going to spend 4 months just figuring out if your building's safe or it's not.
And it makes you think anytime you go up in a high-rise building, that's for sure. This is 12 stories. I was like, oh, my word, because it could happen to anybody. And it's just sad that it happened in regards to the timing of it, people sleep, everybody, and it happened at that time.
1 a.m. and you're dropping 4 stories.
And from the Facebook line, also impact on concrete and steel girders and rebar from saltwater atmosphere over several years.
Yeah, and they didn't have the studies back in the, when they were inventing these plots of real estate. They didn't have these studies. They just said, hey, we're going to build something and put a bunch of people in it. We've been building everything else out of concrete and rebar forever. Hey, why not do it here on the sandy beaches?
Wow, this is crazy. My parents' condo in Florida, top floor, the hallways had waves in the floor.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I've seen
that.
I have seen that before.
In a fun house.
I've seen that before.
I can't even imagine that.
Yes. because what they do is the landlords, they see the cracking and they go and spackle it. And over the years, the floors will start to get uneven and wobbly. And you just trust that they know what they're doing. But then you start walking down the hallways and they're crooked and stuff. Like, I've been in buildings like that all over the country that are, messes, for lack of a better word. But the one thing that is in every one of these high-rise buildings is a elevator. And you wonder, what is the integrity of that thing? Is it off the tracks? Is it going to ever get off the tracks? So there's so many things. We are in the middle of a $1.8 trillion infrastructure bill. This might have to become part of that as well. Researching these buildings and seeing if they're actually safe.
Oh, God, it makes you think, that is for sure. Just bizarre.
It's terrifying. Absolutely. And to think in your sleep, did you see some of the pictures where the people are in their beds?
No.
Where it cuts off is right where their beds are. They would have slid out of their beds because the beds are empty.
Yeah.
They even show bunk beds.
Yeah, that didn't make it. Right.
Bunk beds that were empty.
Yep.
They were right at the very edge.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely, to me, the most terrifying thing is going to sleep at night and think that in the middle of the night you're going to wake up tumbling and falling and being caught in all this debris.
Right.
Or in a sinkhole. It is things nightmares are made of. It is terrifying.
I wouldn't live in a skyscraper. Would you live in a skyscraper?
I'd prefer not to because I've never lived that kind of lifestyle, but I know people have lived a long time in skyscrapers. With no issues.
When you got 10 acres of property and you got 4 million people, the only way you can do is go straight up.
Yeah, I'd prefer ground, but I don't know. I don't know.
But you're right, Vic. There's nothing stranger than the bubbling in the upper. I've been there, and whoever said that on Facebook, it's absolutely true. It's kind of that place should be closed immediately.
Well, obviously that building will be, but you mean the place with the waving in the halls?
Yeah.
I can't even. Did you see that building in China recently that was swaying back and forth?
No.
I think it was
what?
like 100 stories tall, and there's video of it. People are just pouring out of there, and the building is like moving back and forth. I don't think I could live in a high-rise building. I really don't. The second or third floor would be it for me.
I'm out.
I couldn't do any higher than that.
No, I've done it a few times. I didn't like the elevators. I didn't like the closed quarters. I didn't like the fact that if you had to get out in an emergency, it was a 20-minute walk down the stairs. I hated everything about it, to be honest with you.
Hey,
I'm with you.
By the way, there's a flash flood watch in effect in 7 a.m. to tomorrow because there's a lot of rain that's expected, and something for at least the St. Louis metropolitan area. There's parts of Missouri where we've had rain for 12 straight hours. So just be aware of that over the weekend. It's something that you're going to have to keep an eye on. It's also interesting, too, because, the Cardinals are trying to play a series. You've got the U.S. Olympic trials downtown as well. So a lot of people are in town for that, too. So just another update when it comes to things we might be dealing with this weekend.
Can't escape it, man.
Also, another interesting thing that I heard yesterday before we get out, we need to talk about. I heard some information yesterday regarding Kim Gardner. Remember, she had a hearing yesterday.
Yeah.
About her supposedly making false comments in a court case regarding the Eric Greitens situation. Mm-hmm. Well, yesterday, Rudy Giuliani was suspended, had his law license suspended
Correct.
for making false statements.
Right.
As he should have.
Sure.
And I think it was for 2 years, might be for 2 years. Well, this case that's going with Kim Gardner is almost identical.
Okay.
There's word that Kim Gardner is going to have to deal with the disciplinary board for in the state of Missouri for lawyers.
For the bar.
There's word that they would like to disbar her. I'm just telling you, there's word. Now, she can appeal to the Missouri Supreme Court. And I was talking to Brad Young about this. And apparently the Missouri Supreme Court, they could uphold that or come across as being lenient and just suspend her. When I say just suspend, but if she gets suspended, guess what? She can't keep her job.
Are you sure about that?
I am absolutely sure.
Does she know that?
Now,
because I thought she made rumblings like, I don't care what you do, I'm staying in my job.
Well, there's a lot of speculation out there that you're seeing big groups of people come with her to all of these meetings.
Yes.
These hearings, her press conferences.
So what?
So
what?
Here's the thing, if she were to, quote, have to leave her job, there's a sentiment where she could become or looked at as a martyr and then run again.
No. That's got to stop. That's got to stop. And the way that it stops is that if Tabitha Hassell goes out today and she literally kills somebody and it's caught on tape and she's a murderer and we go out and they arrest her ass and they put her in jail, it doesn't mean that 200 of her closest fans, which happen to be right here on Facebook with us.
I'm just telling you,
that can't matter anymore.
The evidence.
It can't matter. She can't be a martyr because she broke the law.
The evidence is so over. Well, that's up to the people to decide.
But my point is the courts have to start going, I don't care if you bring 1,000 people. According to my law book right here, you're
But
gone.
I'm telling you, it's looking. I talked to 3 different people yesterday, and it's all looking like the evidence is so overwhelming.
Then that's all that matters.
This is already being talked about
matters.
behind closed doors at the discipline level.
And that's all that matters.
And it needs to happen. You know what? She's not special. The law should apply to her just like it does anyone else.
Yes, that doesn't matter, Vic.
So it's just a story. We got to get to the phone line too, but it's a story to keep your eye on.
But the story is not the group of people that are martyring her. If that happens, the story is that judicial board that buckled under the group. That's the story. It's like, wow, we can really move the judicial system by just getting a bunch.
Well, you could see disbarment recommended by the disciplinary board, and then the Missouri Supreme Court would be ultimately deciding what happens. They could keep that or give her suspension. And because of this case, a suspension would force her to leave the job, is what I'm being told behind lawyers behind the scenes. So
that's interesting. Wow.
Hey, I was just talking about what a huge weekend it could be when it comes to our weather. There's nobody better to talk to about that than our man, our meteorologist, the one and only Dave Murray. Dave, happy Friday, man. It's going to get wet here, isn't it?
Yeah, it already is. I mean, we have had 2 rounds really already, but the one last night was kind of the precursor of what's going to happen this weekend. There's a lot of things that I want to stress here. It's not going to be raining all the time. Sometimes people go, oh, it's just going to rain all weekend long. Well, no, but it's going to be wet. We have a dying batch of rain over us right now. Most of the afternoon is going to be rain-free. The next batch comes in really late this afternoon. In fact, it could be even closer to sunset, which will take it into the evening. But there's going to be another window of rain and thunderstorms, some with heavy rain, some with severe thunderstorms, late this afternoon through the early evening. Then that will stop, and then things will go quiet for Saturday morning until we get into the afternoon on Saturday. The next wave comes in Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. In between, it's hot and it's very humid. Same story on Monday. I think the morning is dry, but again, the afternoon and evening, we'll see another batch of rain and thunderstorms. And these are widespread outbreaks. This isn't little hit and miss type stuff. And the pattern, though I think it becomes less active Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it is still a wet pattern on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So again, the key points here, look for big temperature swings. When it's not raining, it's going to warm up quickly. It's going to be very humid. When it is raining, it cools down into the 70s. But it's not raining all the time. The storms are very efficient rainmakers, meaning that when it does rain, it's going to be blinding rain, like tropical downpours, and there will be flash flooding, especially on the small streams and creeks. They'll come up and down very quickly. Severe storms possible, focusing on damaging winds. That would be the main feature with this. Some pockets of hail and, of course, a lot of thunder and lightning. But wind is going to be the big deal. When it's not raining, it is just a real soupy air mass. You can do your own forecasting with this because, every neighborhood is a little bit different. But when it's raining, that period should last about 4 to 6 hours.
Jeez.
When it's not raining, we have about an 8 to 10 hour window. So kind of use that. When the rain stops at your house, probably have about an 8 to 10 hour window before the next batch comes in. When it comes in, it's going to be wet for about 4 to 6 hours. Then another break. So that's how the weekend is going to go. It's not a total washout, but boy, we are talking several inches of rain before this is all done the middle of next week.
Dave, will the Cardinals get the game in tonight?
We're hoping not, Dave, because they suck right now.
Yeah, I know. They really
Mercy
do. What's
killing.
going on?
We want to give management full time to figure out what the hell they're going to do. They've lost 17 of 23 games. I'm not a fan. Can you tell?
Yeah. What they started out so well. It was like, oh, this is going to be a great year, and then it was like the rails came off.
Yeah. So next week,
I don't think they get the game in today.
okay, it makes sense because this pattern's crazy. But so you have this weekend, and then you have next weekend, which is the 4th of July. Does that mean, do we get all of this stuff out of our system and have an amazingly nice 4th of July next weekend?
We never have an amazingly nice 4th of July.
That's over a week away.
This is Dave Murray.
No, this is St. Louis.
This is not Chris Higgins we're talking to. This is Dave Murray.
Oh, stop.
Eric. Is the 4th of July? I'm kidding. I can joke about anybody. I'm just kidding.
No, you can't.
Oh, come on, Chris is great.
Chris is great. Chris is great. But this is Dave. Come on. Do you think that the 4th of July looks okay?
I think that the pattern should break the middle of next week. We'll cool down a little bit once the pattern breaks. So, kind of at this stage of the game, it's a long way off. Fingers crossed that the weekend could be pretty good.
Fingers crossed. That never sounds good. One. I don't
does in
like
the weather
50.
field, let me tell you.
That 50-50 thing is so horrible. I can't take it for like a whole week. One question I have for you, and I know you got to get going, but do you want to weigh in on the catastrophe in Florida? We were talking about meteorological events that might have contributed to that, to the collapse.
And it is 9:53.
I understand, 9:53.
No, you don't.
In 1
you
minute.
don't get time, Eric.
I don't. It doesn't matter. Do you think that meteorological events over the last 40 years contributed to this thing plummeting to the ground?
I think the bigger thing that involves, I'm going to go more geological in that, Florida is, for the most part, below sea level. And I think there is a lot of shifting of the ground. There are sinkholes all over the place. And I think that my gut feeling on this, and I don't know any of this individual situation, is that the sinkhole type problem there could be what's going on here.
That's what
I think so.
Yep.
Dave, we love you. Have an awesome weekend. We appreciate you calling us and
guys.
giving us some time.
Beat the clock.
All
Yes.
right, the legendary Dave Murray.
It's hard to do with Eric.
He hit the
We gotta
post.
take it.
He's a weather guy, and he hit the post.
Dave gets it.
I love it.
We gotta get the break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, we know we don't start as early as the other shows. Because we're a lot smarter.
It's like I blinked, and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now, my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
Hey, it's Shanny from the Legendary Lunch, and I want to tell you about my friends at Mascot's Bar and Grill, 4881 Mexico Road in St. Peters, right by the Recplex. And if you are looking for a place to hang out with your friends, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. If you want delicious food, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. From their appetizers like the giant pretzel, this thing is bigger than your head, to the steak sandwiches, the value menu, to the legendary lunch special. That's right, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 3, you go in and tell them that you're FOS, you're a friend of Shanny's, and you want the legendary lunch special. It's a $5 half-pound burger and fries. That's right, $5 half-pound burger and fries. Better than any fast food burger you will ever have. And on Sundays, all day long. That's right, the legendary lunch special goes all day long on Sundays. Stop by and say hi to Jen and Rob. You will have a great time. Musical bingo, food, fun, friends, and family. It's Mascot's Bar and Grill.
Compass Health Network is excited to announce the opening of the newest Express Care location on Newtown Boulevard in St. Charles. Compass Health Network accepts private insurance, Medicaid, self-pay, and a sliding fee scale. Compass Health Network cares for the whole person, the whole family, the whole community, with locations in St. Charles, Troy, Wentzville, St. Peters, and the newest Express Care on Newtown Boulevard by 370. For information, call 636-723-8465 or visit compasshealthnetwork.org.
Start with everyone with a brand new puppy they cannot leave home alone. Well, there he is now, disemboweling a sofa. Now narrow it to the puppy parents who need to get their prescriptions refilled today. For you, there's Walgreens same-day prescription delivery. Medication sent right to your door from the local Walgreens you already know and trust. So you can spend all day at home teaching your new puppy some manners. Elroy, roll over. Or just sit there and tilt your head. Aw. To join, text JOIN-RX to 21525.
People's Bank and Trust is helping you get a grip on your finances with our new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills all from the palm of your hand. Visit us online at www.pbtc.net for more information and to start using mobile banking. People's Bank and Trust, hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Since 1987, Illy HVAC has taken care of your heating and cooling needs. Call Illy HVAC today at 314-808-2162. 314-808-2162.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. We're having a close out here. If you're listening, there was a guy at South by yesterday. Wanted to talk about his daughter. She's at SIU, Carbondale or SIU Edwardsville. She's in the play. She's not getting vaccinated, and she can't, or she's in theater and she can't be in the play because she's not vaccinated. There's not much we can do about it.
You know, it's unfortunate that so many schools right now are requiring vaccinations, and I don't know that there's a way to fight it.
Yeah, but there's
Absolutely
technically
so.
it's illegal, but there's lawsuits to stop them. We just said we'd mention it today.
Yeah,
Tabitha,
I wish we would have
reminded
had
me.
more time to talk
He
about
didn't
it.
get to meet you yesterday.
And it's a personal decision whether someone wants to get vaccinated or not.
Hey, great show. Eric, you guys played this weekend?
Yes, Brewskis, St. Charles.
What day? Saturday night?
Saturday, tomorrow night.
All right. It's
Platinum
been a
Rock
while
Legends.
since you've been there, right?
We haven't been in St. Louis for a while.
All right. Well, your fans are going to want to see you.
And they can come see you at the Quarry on Sunday also.
Oh, my God.
Sunday?
Sunday
Maybe.
at the Quarry.
Quite possibly.
You're going to be there.
Maybe.
You're going to, because if you don't show up,
Maybe not.
never again will you be able to mention the word backlash. If you're not
I
there,
backlash every day at my house.
never will you be allowed to talk
I'm
about
always
backlash.
backlashing. I'm lashing everything.
All right. We got to get out of here. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox. It's about 10 o'clock. We're late. Sorry. We'll see you tonight for Fox 2 News at 5 and 9.